I mean, if you look at the start with with the snaps, clearly that's not what you're looking for. Had the one turnover there, and we didn't handle the adversity of it. Also on defense, so we wanted to really focus on play style and some things. I thought the guys, particularly young guys' effort was really good, but yeah, this was clearly not as clean as you'd like. You like to take a bigger step there. Also we had the penalties, extended drives, and so forth. So we have a lot to clean up. A lot of our young guys played a ton of football, so it'll be great video to evaluate.
Can you speak about the potential severity of Gallagher's loss?
I mean, it's going to be, I put it in the category significant, but really till we get all the scans and the full diagnosis, I don't have a timeline.
You talked before he played really well for you in this camp. You liked what he was
Oh,
doing.
yeah, no, absolutely. Neville's, you talk about players taking a second-year jump. I mean, he definitely illustrated that from, you can see it in the spring. So had a great offseason, was having a great camp. Just unfortunate.
From Neville to Sean, you had 3 or 4 happen in quick succession. In the course of the game, do you have time to process that? Like, man, we're kind of going through a rash right here, or is there too much else going on?
No, definitely. I mean, that's especially preseason. I mean, a big part of my focus is play time for players. Trying to make sure we're all on the same page. You want to see different combinations of players. Yes, so anytime you have that many injuries. I mean, obviously it's disrupts everything. It's you feel terrible for the individual, but that's to me then always the priority of preseason games, because if you can practice every day together and playing these games together, your team will improve. And so it's just unfortunate those guys suffered those injuries.
Sorry, what did you see from your quarterbacks? Not just Gilbert, all of them.
I saw production in the drives. I thought we were able to establish drives. I think Garrett totally was knocked out of rhythm some with the snaps, and I think it carried over to some of his footwork and throws. So Cooper did a nice job. He moved the ball when he was in there, and Ben had a nice drive there for the touchdown, and made the big play with his feet. So which he needs to do more of. So I thought those guys were productive. I think when I look at the game, for as much time we spent on the end of game situations, and this was our first opportunity to win the game in a stretch. This is, to me, this is a great illustration of what the regular season is going to be like. So I'm looking for some ROI as what we've invested in the end of the game. So we'll definitely learn from this opportunity.
On that topic, you seem to really lean into situational football. Obviously, you did in camp, but tonight when you guys took the lead, Dequan Hardy, 5 straight runs, and then you had 2-minute drill, called a timeout there to simulate icing the kicker. Sure you had fun with that, but what did that final several minutes of the game do you think do for the team to get those reps?
I mean, just to be honest with you, it was definitely an area coming from last year that we need to greatly improve on. So, and I think anytime you see, I would think any coach, when you have an off season, you evaluate the things you want to do. We all have the same amount of time, but end of game situations is something that was a primary focus for us. So, just trying to take advantage of the game situation, live action to just simulate what we've been practicing.
Why wouldn't Randy Gregory here tonight?
Randy, Dalton Schultz, we had a group of players that we put into an injury category. We'd sent them straight to Dallas from Oxnard, just to obviously to eliminate extra flight and so forth. So they're back there getting treatment.
What was Randy?
Randy's just been dealing with a foot. Yeah, he has a foot. Dalton has an ankle.
You've said at camp, obviously, Connor Williams needs reps at center if he's going to do it.
Yep.
What was beyond just wanting to get him reps, was there more of a thought process to putting him out there for the opening season?
No, just really, I was more worried about his play time. So the fact of was really was a discussion that went on in the last 48 hours. Just his snaps at center were the primary objective for Connor. So I wasn't as worried about how many reps he got at guard. It was really a decision to let him go first.
You're a little low on tackles now with balls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do something?
Well, I mean, we're obviously we have a number of guys that we need to get evaluated tomorrow. So I'm sure we're going to have some discussions. Hopefully the injuries aren't as severe.
What's it like just psychologically on the sideline? I know you don't want to get too caught up into it, but it was just one after another with the injuries.
Hardest part of the game. I mean, clearly when that happens, but it's hard not to think of the individual for what they put into it, but it's part of the game. I mean, it's part of the adversity of the game, and it's part of the opportunity of the next guy stepping in there and next man up. So these are all things you have to deal with and prepare. I mean, adversity is a big part of our game, and that's definitely probably one of the tougher spots.
From a layperson's point of view, it seems like Danucci throws off his back foot a decent amount, but I was curious, is that something that you've seen him do or not really at all? He's got the arm.
I mean, I think you have to look at the whole picture. Is he throwing off his back foot when he shouldn't be, or is he throwing off it because there's pressure off the edge? There's a lot of pressure in this game tonight, and I think it started early, particularly against our offense. So we picked it up some in the second half. So I mean, this is great work for the quarterbacks.
Your thoughts on your defense tonight? It seemed like Dorrance and some of the young guys up front were around the ball.
Yeah, no, definitely. I really like the activity up front. Doors, played very well. Almost had a huge play there with the tip pass that almost went the other way. So. Bradley and I had the penalty, but you can see his juice was great. It's good to get him back out there. He definitely needed it. Just the big guys inside, Bo and Osa. So a lot of good. I'm looking forward to watching the tapes. A lot of good snaps.
How would you say the interior defense has matured this season? I'm talking like safety, middle linebackers, interior defense.
Well, we're maturing. I think I would say. We have a lot of new faces in there. So I mean, this is what we need. We need training camp. We need just to continue to work. This wasn't our best week, leading into this game. So we need to come out of this. We just got to rally, get healthy, and we need to have a better week of practice going into Houston.
What was, in terms of practice, missing?
Just wasn't very good this week. I mean, it wasn't. The Rams was a little sloppy, and last two days weren't very good. So, and I thought some of it carried over to into the game tonight.
Is it reaching the point where you're a little concerned about the center position and the difficulties you're having with the snap exchange and your depth?
Am I concerned about it? Yeah, I mean, anytime the ball's on the ground, it's of concern. I mean, that's the starting point. I mean, that's why you start practice every day with quarterback center exchange. I mean, it can't happen. There's no excuse for it. We could talk till we're blue in the face about it. So I mean, it has to be corrected. But more importantly, I mean, it's important for us to give Connor game day reps. Particularly with the guys that he would be in there with. So I was glad we were able to get him in there with the first line.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.